Hi everyone, Evette Rose here, and welcome to Women in Business Summit. Ladies, I am so excited to have a very special guest speaker, Lisa Haisha, here with me. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. And ladies, for those of you who don't know Lisa, she has traveled all over the world to 60 countries as a social engineer and also a TV host. And she also has an MA in spiritual psychology. She's an author, she's a life coach, she's also a public speaker, and she's a soul blazer and a soul seeker. And she also has created and taught her imposter model for the past 2 decades all across the world. And she's also the chairwoman of Silicon Valley's Pitch Global. Wow, Lisa, you are a powerhouse. Wow, I'm so honored to actually have you here. Like you're just
I'm just a mom hanging out and just doing things I love and enjoy each day. Yeah.
There you go. I love what you just said. You just opened up this beautiful conversation with already just I do what I love. I'm just the moment I do what I love. And it's almost like what I'm seeing here with you doing is when you do something that you love, it's like it just unfolds.
Yes.
It just unfolds for you. And what I love about what you do is your accomplishments. You are a mom, yes, but you're also an accomplished businesswoman. And this is something that's so unique right now. And I say unique because this world is used to a masculine, male dominant leadership and, ways of making decisions. And it's this and it's that. And we kind of like always were on the back seat. And there's not really a solid platform. There's not really a manual that we have helping us to understand here's what you do when you walk into a position of power. But forget about even walking into that. How do we even create it? I would love to hear, how did you start these powerful movements in your life? How did that start for you? What was even the attraction to it? Like you went from being, someone that had, of course, you had your life, you had your day-to-day routines, but then it just went from 0 to 1,000.
Well, leadership is transformation. You don't become a leader unless your daily life is constantly unfolding and you're looking for miracles and you are on a path of curiosity and just education. What's out there? What don't I know? And when you live your life in that way, you start seeing opportunities and things start coming to you, become a magnet for stuff because people notice something in you. They're like, oh, wow, she's not grabby or pushy and really trying to get somewhere in life. It's just unfolding. So it's more organic. Most people think leadership is more stagnant. It's like, I've got to do this, and I just got to lead. And it's not that. It's like a beautiful flower unfolding. And I think the best type of leaders are when you don't even know there is a leader, when the company is just blossoming and everyone's ideas are out there and you just accept. The leaders are saying, nope, this is how we're doing things. It's not open to discussion, which I've been in companies like that. And I thought, I will never lead like that. Anytime I'm leading, I say, what does the group want? What do you want? I want to hear everyone's ideas. Then let's all dissect them. What is the best way to go? And I think everyone's ideas are usually very good. So you could take different aspects or at different times, implement these ideas. Then everyone feels like they're a part of the solution. Everyone feels seen and heard, which is the biggest thing in life today. Everyone wants to feel loved, be loved, love someone, be seen and be heard, and just know that they matter. And if you're running a company or starting a business and you're like, it's all about me, this is my company, it's my way, you're going to not have too much success because you're not going to have your team behind you. They're going to actually secretly hope you fail. So that's how you do it. You just figure out what you want. I'm a visionary, so I sit there and quiet. I go out in nature and I visualize what it is I want, but I don't have to have it figured out. I just say like, oh, I want to help children in a bigger way. how can I do that? And when I stepped into an orphanage, I thought, oh, let me write down these children's words. And then I had so many different interviews from them that, what do I do with this? Oh, it just evolved into a book. It wasn't like, oh, I've got to do something for children and I got to have this whole plan. Sometimes it's better just to let it be organic and it just sort of forms itself. Again, you're leading, but you're not. You're letting the universe be your partner in creation. And then that's where the real juice comes from, because then you are this all-powerful being that's helping it come into fruition, but you're really just getting orders from something higher, something above you, where you can't fail if your partner is the universe.
Oh my God, like you just brought so many concepts together so powerfully and so beautifully. And I want to get back to that part where you said partnering up with the universe, because that's fundamental. But I want to also hear from you, how can women step into a leadership role and in that place of allowance? That's what I'm hearing, like just organically let it grow. Because what I'm seeing that's happening right now, especially with your COVID and lockdown, like the way that we do business has gone online. So many people actually started their own businesses because of this. And a lot of women had to reinvent their businesses also because of that. And when we look at this male dominant environment that we're also in, I'm seeing one of the biggest mistakes that women are making is they're trying to match men. They're trying to match the masculinity. They're trying to feel, or not trying to, they feel that they have to fight for their position. They have to compete for it. And I'm seeing a lot of subtle passive aggressive and fighting happening. And it's exhausting women, because we're not biologically designed to be in such an aggressive state and to try to match men all the time, because there's a complete, even from a, not even an energetic perspective, but a biological perspective, there's a huge misalignment. How can women organically allow this to grow? And then also some of, not all the women, but some women, I'm seeing this as a big wave happening right now. And we're trying to figure out how do we navigate our way through this. And what you said was so beautiful, and it's correct, to allow that to organically transpire and just move and expand. How can we start to do that? How can we get our mindset into that?
Well, I think if you're trying to start a business right now, or if you started it and you're trying to build it, I think women are so much more intuitive than men, and to try to be like a man is going against our true nature. I think what brings women success is being in the moment, listening more than talking, being able to visualize the future and listen to what someone's saying and say, is that possible? Because everybody's contribution really helps if you're open to it. That's little pieces that make, a puzzle. You can't just say, oh, this and this and this, and oh, this is all my ideas, because sometimes you don't know all the answers. And when you're in your head and creative mode, it's nice to get someone else's opinion who's seeing it from the other direction or outside. So I think what women bring is they'll listen more, they'll consider other people's opinions more, they'll be in the moment, they will help nurture. I know in my company I get made fun of, but I always have something warm cooking on the stove when I have my meetings at the house, soup or something. And I always have the candles of incense of some sort, of pumpkin spice or something, because I think it takes all of our senses to really help bring out creativity. I say, let's go outside and sit on the patio. Let's walk on the grass barefoot, and let's create outside. Let's create in different locations, not always the same place and inside four walls where creativity is limited. Sometimes when you just take a walk or you're sitting outside and change form, it changes ideas, and creativity comes because people aren't feeling like they're being stuck in a box. And if I'm so scared I'll say the wrong thing, or I'll make a mistake or say something stupid, because there's no such thing as that. If you're really a good leader, there's no wrong answer, because even if an answer seems a little silly, it might inspire someone else to say, oh, wait, that makes me think of this. So everything is a contribution. And when you open people up like that, where they're not afraid and they feel safe, which is what I think women could really offer, that's when we could change the world. And I think the Dalai Lama said that in the future, a female is going to change the world. And that's what he's meaning, because we could more easily come from our heart and be more grounded. And we don't have the testosterone in us to, I have to lead and I have to be king. And if anyone takes over, I'm going to look weak. I don't care if I look weak, because I think the strong leader is never weak. You just expand and allow other people to be strong leaders around you. So it's a completely different mentality, because if my people are strong leaders, I'm a strong leader, because it comes back to my company.
I want to frame that quote, Lisa Haisha. I love that. And it's so true. It is like, I just get goosebumps. Like, before I connected with you today, I was just full of goosebumps. And I'm like, I know this is going to be such a powerful interview. And it's true. But what I want to ask you as well, as we are talking on the topic of leadership, were you always a leader in your life? Was this something that was always easy for you to just take the lead? Or is it something that you learned as you matured throughout your life?
I think we're all born leaders, and then it's kind of beaten out of us. Stop saying that. Don't talk, especially for women. You don't have a voice. You can't do this. Sit back. For me, it was like, even don't smile big, smile small. Otherwise, don't laugh. You could just giggle, but you can't laugh. That's unlike, everything was limited, 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 limited. So, but I think as I traveled, when I started traveling and traveling alone, I found my voice, and I thought, oh, there is something inside me. I thought, oh, I never even thought, should I be a leader or not? That never even crossed my mind. It was just my daily actions. What I said in the beginning of this, it was like visiting Iraq. I said this in the past interview. When I visited Iraq, because I wanted to find my roots, I think it's really important to be a leader. And I stumbled into all of this, so I'm just saying this after the fact. If you don't know who you are, you can't be a good leader. You really have to get solid and say, this is who I am. Here are my morals. Here are my values. And once you know those, then the universe starts opening things up and introducing those things to you, and you get to make choices. No, that's not right for me. Yes, this is right. And sometimes those are hard, because you have to say no to some great opportunities, but it's cheating, or it's not really good for you in the long run, especially like if it's a creepy boss or something, and you're going, oh, I know I'm stepping into this, but this will be a stepping stone, which I saw a lot of my friends here in Hollywood do, compromise their values to get to the next level. But then that always bit them later, because then it's always on their mind, and they're always going, oh, I got here because of this. And sometimes people were forced into it in a certain way. They were already in too deep, and then opportunities came. And I think being a coach, listening to all these stories, it really helped me understand the human condition and people, so I don't judge anyone or what their journey was. But if you really want to be a leader today, if you know what your morals and values are and stand by them, and you don't even have to know what you want. Like, I went to Iraq saying, I cannot move further unless I know who I am, because all my thoughts were, what would my dad think? What would my mom think? It was never, oh, what do I think? It's always other people. So I think once you get that, then I thought, oh, I went to the orphanage because my dad said, oh, I'm sending you to an orphanage at one point when I was a child. So I thought, oh, here's the orphanage he was talking about. So when I went in there, it was again curiosity that drove me to ask questions. And then the kids were saying, nobody cares about us. Why are you even doing this? And I thought, oh, they need to be seen and heard, and they need to be loved. They aren't being loved, seen, or heard. So let me just do that. Then that turned into, oh, let me memorialize their words, like months later. And then that turned into a book. And then that turned into me turning the book into libraries and schools, which led to being a speaker, which led to kind of being a leader when you're a speaker, which led to me then teaching foster kids and then led to leading workshops and led to creating the Legacy Gala and highlighting other women and people doing great work in the world. And then that, I guess, makes you a leader. So when you say, oh, you're a powerhouse, like, no, I'm just this hippie chick who went around the world and went to orphanages and played in the dirt a lot and stayed with people and was curious. And I just sort of stumbled into this stuff, landed into this and that. But that's how you live the life of your dreams, where you're not working a day in your life, yet you're being a leader, you're making money, you're making a difference in the world, you're building community. So many fabulous things, but it's not, okay, let me make my list. I'm going to beat up all these people because I've got to win. I'm going to stomp on these people. this is the only way you can win. You don't have to win that way. That's the way you lose. Because even if you win, again, being around the top Hollywood people, my husband was a showrunner for 2 of the biggest sitcoms, and being around some of these people, so many of them weren't happy. And I'm like, you guys are the wealthiest, most successful, creative, brilliant minds. How could you not be happy? One of their biggest sayings were, another soul-sucking day. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? People would die to come here and do that. And some of these people were making 100,000 or 200 or 300,000 a week, working like 7 to 8 hours a day. And I'm like, how could you ever say that? And you get to be creative with all these great people, and you get to see your work on the screen, and you're making people laugh. But yeah, it was just a mentality. And sometimes the energy or mentality becomes viral, then everyone starts picking up on that negative energy, and it's cool to be depressed or angry and all that stuff. But it's not good for the soul. And then a lot of times they blew the money on drugs because they're not happy. So now they're working. Now they're end up being broke, where you see so many people lost their money, or they're broke even though they made millions of dollars. So what you're doing is fabulous and wonderful, of how to be a leader, how to make a difference in the world, but be happy too, and do it in a way where you could reflect. I always think, well, this action I'm doing today, when I'm 80 years old, talking to my grandchildren or other people, what stories can I tell them? Is this a story I want to share? Would I be proud of myself? And if it's like, no, then don't need to do it. And when you're okay, when you're not becoming a leader to become a millionaire, I have people who want to study with me and say, I want to learn what you do, so I need to become a millionaire, and this looks like a fun way to do it. It's like, then you're not for me, because if your goal is to become a millionaire, you are never going to make it, or you're going to be a horrible person, or you're not going to give people what they really need. You're going to give them or manipulate them into buying more of your stuff or paying you more money. Everything's going to be about the dollar instead of the benefit. And then that's where you start failing as a person and as a leader to yourself, even if you're leading others.
Because what I'm hearing you also saying is that the universe responds to what you energize. And if you're energizing, I want money, I want money, I want money, well, okay, it's going to align you with circumstances and people that's in alignment with that. But the ground foundation and what transpires from that is not that healthy. So it means it can actually align people with that as well.
Yeah, it'll only align you with money that's that is not dirty money, is if your vibration is high and you have what I said earlier, your morals and values in place. Then you're vibrating of, how can I be my best self to give back? How can I be a blessing in the world's universe? Then the universe says, oh, here's a way, here's the way. Then the money starts flowing in, but you don't blow it on drugs. You don't blow it on just, I'm so lonely, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, and have a wardrobe full of stuff with all their tags still on. I've met those people too. It's like, what are you doing? They're like, I know, I forgot I bought this, or I have this, whatever. It's like, I've done this for 25 years. I've met a lot of people, and it's always comes from people who are after the dollar, or marrying for money, or doing this and then trying to build a business off that. And they're always super unhappy people. This person screwed me over and I don't trust people, and this person did. That's all their stories. And it's like, oh, wow, this person did this wonderful, this, all my assistants have been, I felt like lucky when I found as an Uber driver, and she became my assistant for 4 years, and she was like spectacular. Another one I met at a Ralph's or whatever at a grocery store, just talking to her. She was in line. She was, oh, I'm looking, oh, I am too. I just felt an energy, and she was spectacular. So it's what you vibrate. And then again, when I told you before, if you're open to miracles, I just wake up, I create miracles, and I'm open to miracles. It's like they're standing right in front of you. They're everywhere. You need someone, they're really right there, but you're too blocked saying, well, I need this, I need that, I need that, da, 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 da. Then you're not going to get it, or you're going to get the wrong person because you're too in your head. You're not in your heart. And in order to be a good leader, you have to come from your heart. You have to know your why. Why am I doing this? How is it a contribution to the world? How is it a contribution to myself and my family and my well-being? Once all those are in alignment, you don't even have to know what it is you really want to do. You just keep putting that out and I always do a morning routine where I say my affirmations. You know, they're up here, I have them everywhere, and they're on my computer. I have them recorded as voice messages, and I listen to them. And this is who I am. This is my core. So it's just a reminder. And what do I want to achieve today? I put 3 things down that if I just get those things done, I conquered the day. I make my bed, I stretch, even if it's for 1 minute. I have my green tea, and you do your basics, mind, body, heart, soul. You say a little prayer, you do your little things, then you're grounded. And that could take 3 minutes, or it could take an hour, depending on how much time you have. But if you just train yourself to do that every day, then it's like, oh, that's just what I do. And it becomes longer and longer and longer, because now it's like brushing your teeth. I would never get up without washing my face, brushing my teeth, or for me, showering. You know, I just like to rinse off before I start my day. Even if I'm going to go work out, I rinse off first, then I go work out. So it just becomes habit that, oh, I have to do mind, body, heart, soul. And you do it. And if you do it for 21 days, then that becomes 42. And then that becomes your routine. And you start seeing your mind becoming so much more open and clear. You start seeing yourself attracting the exact people you need to run your business with you, and to be your friend, and to be your mentor. And people want to help you. Like I said, oh, I want to do this documentary, just because it was COVID and I didn't want to be by myself. And someone knocks on my door that I met once in February and said, I just moved to LA. I don't know anyone. I want to do a documentary. And he's a videographer. What? He's like, I interviewed you in February. That was February. And in August, you know, about is when COVID started in March. And by August, I said, God, I want to do something creative. I don't just want to sit here during COVID. And then he's like, oh, I need a place to live. I'll trade you. I'll shoot all these interviews for you and edit and put the music if I could live here. And I'm like, oh my God, he's an awesome person. So we had such a blast interviewing Jack Canfield, top people, Catherine Woodward Thomas, who, you know, wrote several books and helped people conscious uncouple, Joe Vitale, Wim Hof, the breath guy in Poland. I'm all these amazing people. Hi, will you come over? Sure. I'm like, what? You know, and we're just coming over because they trusted me. And why did they trust me? I haven't been on a big show, but it's like, again, you call it into the universe saying, this is a tough time for people. And I told you, I want to help people just see the world and with a different lens. And how do you do life? And what's the secret to this, Jack? How do you write a best-selling book? Wim, how do you breathe when everyone's got COVID and it's hard to breathe? How do you fix your well-being? Joe, how do you just, you know, get in alignment with success? How do you create that vibrate? You know, just everyone, just what do I want to know? Who's the best in that? Let me call that person. You pick up the phone and everyone said yes. Everyone's like, how did you get this person? How did you get that? Oh, because I visualized and I'm not in it for the money. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to sell all this. It was like, what can I give away? And then that's a beautiful giveaway where then I could still do the work. But when you're constantly giving and not just taking, the universe takes note of that. We don't remember sometimes we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And once you really get that and say, I am in alignment with the universe, I want to make a difference in the world. I want to create change. I want people to have better lives and to laugh more. That's what I want. Universe, make it happen. that I just show up, walk out my door. And then, so when you go, oh, you're this powerful woman, I'm not, I'm nothing. I'm just, like I said, a hippie chick who goes traveling to developing countries. Then I knock on doors. Hi, well, how do you live your life? Oh, you need this and that. Oh, okay, let me get a team together. Hey, friends, do you want to come here and give some money? And let's bring stuff and let's just be Oprah and fix their life. For $1,000, we could buy them goats, chickens, bunk beds, blankets, clothes, fill up the refrigerator. That's not really a powerhouse. It's a person who's just having experiences in life. I wanted to make a movie. I was in Tokyo and I was a model there, and I did not want to drink or do drugs. And a lot of the people after the shows were drinking and doing whatever it is they do. And I thought, God, every time I went there, I'm going, how do I get out of this? And trying to, you have the best photographers in the world. I'm like, I don't want to blow it on this. And so I just made a joke. But in LA, before I went, I was writing a screenplay and I sold it. And then I sold it to Orion. They were a big studio at the time, and they folded a few months later, and about 6-7 months later, and my movie never got made. And I said, can I have it back? They said, no, because we already put in like 300,000. So you'd have to buy it back from us at a higher price, pay off all the producers who were already attached to it. So I said, oh, I've got to write my own script. So I started to write my own script, and I got a call to go there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Tokyo, and maybe I'll continue working on it, maybe not, whatever. But that was my goal. And I was 26, and I started saying no, and then people were not taking no for an answer. So I made a joke. I just said, whoever wants me to go with them has to give me $50,000 and talk about my screenplay. What do you mean? I'm writing a screenplay and you have to talk to me about it and give me $50,000 donation towards the budget. I need $1 million. And everyone started laughing. There's the girl that won't go out unless we give her $50,000 and to talk about her screenplay. Then one day someone said, okay. And I said, oh, well, the check has to clear. I'm not stupid. They're like, where do I send it? And they put it in my bank account. And I'm like, are they nuts? Do they know I know nothing about filmmaking? Their screenwriting, I kind of wing it, I'm not. And then, so we went out and they said, what's your idea? And I said, what's the title? And I'm like, because I didn't even have a title. It's Psycho Sushi. Why Psycho Sushi? Because I thought everyone there was crazy. They're, really interesting culture, and everyone eats sushi. And then they said, what's it about? It's about a girl in LA, in Tokyo. I'm from LA. Hot love, because everyone likes sex, and cold fish, because we were eating fish. Then they're like, oh, that's amazing. That's great. What's the story about? I said, I won't tell you anymore. Another 50,000. Nope. No one's stealing my idea. And I made it funny and a joke, and I didn't take it seriously. And then we were at work again, this and that, and doing more shows. And someone else, I really want to know more about your script. I heard you have a great script called Psycho Sushi. I said, yeah, do you have your script? I said, no. And I said, if you want to talk about it, it's $50,000. So they said, why don't you come to our company? It was a ball bearing company. Why don't you come to our company? So I went to the company, and there was like 12, Asian men, because no women. And they said, where's your script? I said, it's right here. Where's the budget? It's right here. I said, I'm not showing anything because it's that good. And I said, you don't need a budget. I said, every movie being made right now, this is right when Pulp Fiction came out, and he did his first movie that was $1 million budget. Then he got Pulp Fiction. So everyone was doing the $1 million film at that time,
right?
Art house film. So I said, it's $1 million. Then I said, if you look at every budget, it's $1 million, and they just put in numbers. They don't know. And it's moved. All the numbers move as you make the film. And I said, then everyone asks for another 150 or 200,000 because they went over budget for marketing. So I said, I'm asking for $1 million, but I'm really asking for $1,250,000. But I'm not going to tell you the 250 until after the movie's done. Then you're going to fight me on it. Then I'm going to say, well, this is how it is. So that's what it's going to be, $1,250,000. So I said, so they're like, well, what makes you, I said, I want to direct, because I had quit acting at that time for other reasons, which I said in your past interview. It didn't match with my Middle Eastern upbringing. Right. So I said, I'm going to be a director, writer, director. And they said, well, you can't direct because you're female and females can't direct. And I'm like, yeah, I can. So anyway, they said, let's think about it, this and that. Then they said, let's go out to dinner. So we had a dinner to talk about it. And then he's like, if you act in it, we'll do it. But if you direct, no. I said, well, I'm not an actress anymore. I don't want to do that. And then I just got up and left them there, embarrassed them in that restaurant, and left and went back to the hotel, took a cab. And then they came back to the hotel saying, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, you either invest or you don't waste my time. And I said, and don't say a woman can't lead and a woman can't do this. I said, look, you guys already gave me 50,000. I'm here's a model. That's a leader. So just going back and forth, I said, okay, we're going to go to your lobby. And so he went to the little area and had a snack, you know, they came there and we talked about it. And I convinced them that I need to direct, but I need the $1 million in my bank account within a month or they're cut off. I won't let them invest because I don't want game playing. And they gave me $1 million. And that's how I started making my first film called Psycho Sushi. And now it wasn't the greatest movie, but I said, you don't care about the movie. They said, how will we know it'll be a success? I go, it probably won't be. I've never directed before. I said, but you're not buying that. You're buying the experience. And what I was sharing with you earlier, life is not about what you do or what you accomplish. It's the journey, the experience. I said, you guys go into work every day and out, then to the hostess clubs and you drink yourself to death, get up, rest, repeat. And it's the same thing. And I said, you need an experience. Look at me. I'm in Tokyo. You don't stay. And I said, you're buying up all this real estate, trusting realtors that are ripping you off. Come there, meet people. We'll take you to buy the best buildings, the best this and that while you make a movie. And you're going to have this experience. And that's what you're going to be telling your grandchildren when you're older, this year in your life. This is going to be your isolated year. And they love Americans and blondes. And I'm going, you get to meet all these blondes, all these Americans. Everyone's going to think you're a superhero because you're investing in films. Everyone wants you to invest in their film. So he said, okay. So at the end of the day, we made this film and they made their money back, but they still today say that was the best year of my life. We had so much fun and they bought real estate and they raised, you know, grew their money that way. They made good friends here that they're still friends with. So everything worked out. So it wasn't for them, how do I make all this money? And it wasn't for me, how do I? So let's collaborate. We both have what the other one needs. I want the experience of making a movie. You guys need the experience of learning English better, really understanding our culture, buying up real estate, and having an experience outside of being a businessman. Now you're going to understand artists. And that's very exciting to them. So then we went and traveled and did several film festivals around the world. And that was fun too, and a great experience for them. Yeah. So how do you raise money for a film? If you ask Lisa Haisha, you improvise and you don't have your business card and the budget and the script and all. You just say, you know what? I'm vibrating at this level. Can you match me? We're going to have fun. Life is about, you know, having a good time. This is not a dress rehearsal. It's not all about stress and pressure and have to do things the way it's been written in books all these years in business school. I went to international business school. They said, you have to have your card for Asia. You have to bend over like this and bow and all this. I didn't do any of that. I just said, you're with me or you're not. Here's the idea. I don't have this. I don't have that. And they bought the energy. They bought the vibration of that.
Yeah. And, you know, it's also because you stand so strong in who you are. You are a very humble woman that has achieved a lot in your life. I mean, I've been to your house, I've been in your presence, and you really truly, and this is absolutely, I can absolutely testify to this, you really truly radiate this presence. You really truly do. And this energy that just comes out of you and that's just around you, like that is really truly also who you are. It's just what you see is what you get, and what you feel is what you get. Like it really is just that clear. And what I'm hearing also from this is that this is also coming from and stemming from you being so absolutely clear in yourself as well. Whether that's, we're going to be curious now, we're going to play now, whatever you decide, it's like you fully immerse yourself in that, and shamelessly so, but of course with discernment, but in a very beautiful way. But I love the humbleness that you bring to this. You really bring.
Don't take it seriously. Life is not to be taken seriously. I love sheep herders as much as I like a billionaire. And sometimes sheep herders more. You gain so much. My best friend in Barcelona, when I lived there, put my daughter in school first grade, out of all the amazing people I met, was a taxi driver who drove me one place. And he's from Pakistan, and he was actually in medical school, had to quit because they ran out of money, but he spoke 6 languages. He lived in Germany and Sweden and Russia and, Pakistan, Barcelona, and he learned English. And he was a wealth of information and stories, and everyone he's met doing his job. And that ended up being my best friend. And because I connected to him the most, I'm like, it's not, again, about who's the most powerful or what can you get from people. It's about how do you grow? Who am I growing with? Who is enriching my soul is who I want to be friends with, not who has the most money in the bank or who is the most beautiful in the room or the most, on the outside successful or together. That's sometimes boring. Sometimes those people are guarded and they think they're so cool and they're like holding their secrets to themselves and all that kind of energy. And I don't relate to that. I just want to go, oh, stop it. It's just you. I know who you are inside. It's just you, quit putting on airs of, oh, I'm this, I'm a famous actor, so I get to be this way. It's like, oh, come on, talk to everybody because everyone's got a story. Everyone contributes their energy to the universe, and doesn't matter what role you're playing. If you're building a car, or if you're a taxi driver, or if you're a seamstress, or you're a big Hollywood star or a writer, all of you are contributing to make the world a better place, make the world laugh, or make life easier for human beings in one way or another. So they're all the same. They're all giving your gift to the world. And that's all we have, is we all have a gift, and give that to the world. What is your skill and your ability? And a lot of people say, oh, I don't have talent. I could never do that. I could never write a script, or I can't talk to people like that. Or yeah, you can. It's about developing skills and talents. And again, I didn't go out to develop them. I just started traveling alone and organically started maybe building confidence by a lot of different conversations with people organically. And then that somehow opens you up more. So I didn't go to school for that, take communication classes or speaking classes. Oh, how'd you become a speaker? I already took this and I took that. I'm like, oh, I did nothing. I wrote a book and sent it to libraries, and people started saying speak. And most of those were 2nd and 3rd grade classes. So it was super easy. You take a globe and make it fun and ask interesting questions. Like, what country do you get thrown in jail for chewing gum? Stuff like that. Singapore. So making it fun for them. And then slowly you get comfortable just sharing. And then just other people say speak here, then it's like, oh, speak at this high school, oh, speak at this college, oh, speak at this women's event. And then somehow, oh, I guess I'm officially a speaker. But I don't consider myself a speaker. I'm just, again, me just showing up. And when you said you want to be on the show, I'm like, well, okay, I don't know how I'm a leader but okay, I'll just share what I know and hope it's helpful to someone.
I just love you. You're such a wealth of information as well. And I love how you vibe. Like, you just vibe and you create what you want. And within all of this beautiful place and space of everything that you have created, I also want to know, is there maybe someone there that's like perhaps like a female leader, or a female that established herself quite well out there, that really truly inspired you? Is there someone that kind of like sparked something?
The people who inspired me are Anais Nin. Do you know who Anais Nin? She was a diarist. She wrote diaries and journals, and she was with Sartre. Or Simone de Beauvoir actually was with Sartre. But yes, they both are incredible women from the 30s and 40s that made great strides. And I read their autobiographies early on, like in high school. And Maya Angelou and Tina Turner, Oprah Winfrey. These people I looked at and thought, wow, they're living their life organically. they are surrounding them with people because they say you are amalgamation of the 5 closest people to you. So who are my 5 closest people? So up on my walls, I have Simone, Anais, I have Oprah, Tracy Chapman, Marilyn Monroe, Eve Ensler. She did the vagina monologues, if you don't know who she is. Audrey
Oh,
Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn. Yeah, just these different people. Maya Angelou. So I'm like, oh, I like this piece of Audrey Hepburn. I love her elegance and her simplicity and how she did all this charity work at the end of her life and gave so much. I love Eve Ensler's like passion. She just went to all these developing countries and talked to women who had their clitorises removed and were raped, and all their stories about their vagina, and put them into this art form and had these amazing actors perform. You know, I love Marilyn Monroe because she changed everyone's idea of what sex is, and she knew how to be powerful and vulnerable at the same time. And Simone de Beauvoir, she wrote the first books on how women could stand in their power. She was with all those most influential men in Paris and stuff, and she was the only female and doing these amazing things. And Anais Nin, her diaries were groundbreaking. She has like 6 big journals now that have been released, and all of them are just so introspective. She really saw her ugly and her positive sides and was open to all that. And she loved who she loved when she wanted to do it. She was never in a box, never about making money, but her work is so incredible that she leaves this huge legacy. I think they have quotes for her, like 300 quotes that are all amazing. That the way she saw the world and how she could express herself. And I thought, these are people I'd love to have that slice with. So I go, oh, well, I'm traveling, I want to see the world with Anais Nin's eyes, you know, like how you just see whatever you're looking at, you're seeing other aspects, not what the average person would look at. So I'd sit there and just stare in cafes for hours, listening to conversations, looking at how people sit, how they converse, how they move, how I would look at a couple and write a story about them. This is who they are, and make up stories, and then go up to them and say, oh, who are you? And see how close I was to what I imagined. Yeah. So I just thought she inspired all that. And Simone de Beauvoir has inspired me to write, you know, just get out there and write, be a difference. You're a female. It's your job to raise the female voice. I'm like, okay, you know, challenge accepted. Yeah. And then it's like Marilyn says, stay in your femininity. You don't have to be masculine. And Audrey Hepburn saying, make sure you give back. You have to give back. And Maya Angelou saying, be poetic in everything you do and never apologize for being fantastic. Step into your power and be you, and never apologize for it. And all these people, Tracy Chapman was just such a huge influence when she just came out with this simple songs in her guitar, and just every lyric was just, you know, touched my soul. It was like she was so tapped in to the human experience and what that means for us, that it woke me up saying, oh, I want to write like that. I want to capture the essence of I'm on a train. What does this train ride really mean? It's not about me being on a train. What is everything else that's happening around me that I normally wouldn't see unless I'm sitting here paying attention to it? And I think when you live your life like that, it makes you a leader without you even realizing that you're stepping into that. That's why it's so silly when you say you're a powerhouse. I'm like, no, I sleep in a lot. I just waste days. I have 3 friends that are passing. One just passed today, and that's why the past week has been really hard. I've been going there and visiting, and the family, he just has a mom who's 95, and a couple of the cousins didn't even call. They didn't know him very well. Since he was 4, they didn't know him, but that is who the mom called to come in and help. They didn't tell any of his friends. Nobody knew. And all my friends are going, oh, he's not calling me. What's wrong? Or what's going on? And I had to like go on a sleuth to find him. Oh, this is his mom's name. This is where she lives. And like truth finders, find out where he is.
You made a post on Facebook about that.
I did. And I'm going, if anyone knows this person, he's going to be passing away in a month. So I got about,
this is him.
Yeah. He passed away today. But I got 35 or so of his friends to FaceTime from, because he taught internationally a lot at the universities, film and TV, to FaceTime and go, oh my God, goodbye. I didn't know I would have been there. So he's crying, connecting to everybody. And I'm like, nobody would have done this. So yeah, I am busy, but I stopped everything. I said, no, I am a friend this week. I am just a friend. I didn't prepare for this. I'm like, I don't have time to even get on my computer. We wing it because, well, if it's about leadership, I better be able to do a hour interview. So yeah, so all my focus was on that until, about 12:30 today. I'm like, okay, let me say a prayer and let that go now. And I have 2 other friends in various situations that'll probably be gone by the end of the year. So I'm really being a nurturer for the rest of the year and focusing on what's important, because all these people have been at least 30-year plus friendships, which is very strange. That many are passing at the same time. Like, what message is that time slowing down, share more, get out there more, and really make a list of everyone who's important to you, because maybe no one's going to know who are my people in your life. When you talk about living a legacy or leaving a legacy, who has been your team, write them letters, not just let them write a eulogy. Let me write a thank you to all these people who have contributed so deeply to my life. And this person did. He inspired me to live in Barcelona. I've been teaching for 3 years, I think 16, 17, 18, 19, but 16 was more, research, in 6 different cities because of him. He went and did that and set me up with people. He said, you should go live in Barcelona with your daughter, let her experience that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm married. So I didn't think that was like an option. And my husband said, sure, go. That would be a great experience. So I'm like, all this stuff, that's a huge influence in your life. So I got to tell him all that. I wouldn't have even known if I didn't go, okay, something's weird. He's not returning my call, and a couple of friends that I know. And if I didn't go that extra mile to research and find out where he is on missing persons and stuff, no one would have said goodbye to him. Everyone would have said, whatever happened to Rick? And it would have been really sad with him passing without getting to say goodbye to anybody.
Thank God for people like you who have the awareness, the sensitivity, and that beautiful sense of compassion to want to make these connections, despite how busy you are, being a mom, being, in business. And this is what's so beautiful about you. You're humble regardless. And I love you for that. This is it's a very beautiful thing that you did. I can't even imagine what that must have felt like for you, and my deepest condolences for you and his family and extended of that as well. And I can deeply relate to having someone make such a change. They moved and they rocked your world in such a beautiful way. And I'm sure now he can see the full extent of that in its fullest glory, and the truth and the essence of that. And I think the beauty to remember, and you've put so much emphasis on experience. Evette, it's experience. Even the movie that you did, it's like, it's about the experience. That's what you're buying.
Yeah, and you're paying taxes anyway. All their money, if they were paying like 70% tax, it was ridiculous. I said, you pay it to the government anyway. Use it for your own personal growth. Even if you lose it, you would have paid taxes because they make so much money in their business. I'm like, so what? They're like, I guess that's true. Okay. Yeah. And you just have to trust yourself. I went on an audition when I was just starting to audition. I said, okay, I'm not going to be a TV actress because of this and that. It was just challenging for different roles for me to take. So I thought, let me do commercials and model. So that's how I got that job. But I got a teriyaki burger audition. It was my first one. And I was one of the first people in line. It was kind of an open audition. So it was like 500 people. And I was one of the first in line to make sure, I got it, and I went in there to do the audition, and they took my headshot, looked it over, what have you done? And I was nervous saying, oh, this is one of my first auditions, and doing all that. They had me do my thing. We want you to sell this teriyaki burger, and you're going to get a phone call and end it with oishi desu, the hamburger's good. We want you to walk to that phone and back, just little things. And I did it, but I was so nervous going, I hope they like me. And I got to get this because I need the 25,000 this is going to pay, and da, 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 da. And when I was done, they're like, oh, thank you very much. You know, in Hollywood, that means you suck, go home. You know, and I'm like, oh my God. So I knew I was in my head wanting to be liked and accepted, and needed the money. So I went home, beat myself up. Oh my God, that was so easy. What was wrong with you? And that's when I created the imposter model. I didn't have the names for them at that time, but that was just like my victim, my wounded inner child. I'm not good enough. I'm a fraud, you know, imposter syndrome. Everyone else here is probably much better. So I went in more as my narcissist, my egotist of, wait a minute, I belong here. Then you switch it to, how can I become of value? It's not about me doing the audition. It's like, how am I going to help them sell their product? And how am I going to make this turn into something that's about giving more than taking? It's not about me being good. It's about me helping them sell their product. And it was a complete shift in paradigm. I changed my clothes, changed my hair, went back with a different headshot, went in, and I said, here I am. They said, weren't you in here before? I said, no, why? Then they're shuffling around. Then I said, no, that's okay. So they said, okay, this is what we want you to do. And the same thing. And I did it, but I did it really fun and light, and, oh, burgers, Oishi does, you know, just had fun with it, because I'm like, hey, we're on the same team. I'm helping you sell this, not, I hope you guys like me. And then at the end, they're like, oh, that was very good. They said, but isn't this you? And I went, oh, they found my old headshot from earlier that day. And I said, oh, I have a twin sister. She's a horrible actress. I said, she must have come in. She doesn't have enough money to buy her own headshots. Impersonated me. They're like, oh my God, she's terrible, but you're good. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Please don't judge me based on that. And then they had a laugh about it. I have a twin, but she's not an actress or anything, but that came to my mind. And then I left, and by the time I got home, I got the call that I booked the job, and that was a $25,000 job. But again, it's changing the paradigm of not what's in it for me, or I need this, I need to be liked, I need to impress. Anytime you want to impress, and you lose it. You got to forget all that and just say, I'm showing up to have a good time, and I'm here to help you. We're on team you. How can I do that? And then you don't get nervous. Same with public speaking. If you're going, oh my God, I got to memorize my lines. Like, oh my God, I'm on this show with you. I didn't prepare. I'm just going, oh, what am I going to say? And I thought, you know what? Let it just flow. You're awesome at your job. You know what you're doing, and you know your subjects, so we'll flow. And that's where the magic is. The magic is in being present, being in the moment, and being open enough to change your mind and not know all the answers.
Yeah. That you just said something right there. And it hit home for me now a little bit as well, because I think that's where I am at my life right now. Let go of needing to know all the answers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let go.
Yes, you don't need to know the result of what it's going to be.
I'm just digesting. It's just like, boom, it just hit me. It just hit me, because that's exactly where I'm actually, funnily enough, where I'm at right now. And it's just like, you just went, push. True, because how much time and money do we lose trying to figure things out, trying to need to know, trying to predict, trying to assess,
trying to be perfect.
And before we know it, we have an entire plan A, B, C, D, E, and F based on assumptions that might not even happen. And all our energy has been projected into that. It's like, come back home, come back to just where you are right now, and be okay with that. And know that you can consciously show up in the best way, shape, or form, and focus on the experience, and everything else will come.
Yes.
Because
there's no wrong.
Yeah, because the experience is there, because that's why you're doing it in the first place. It's because you're supposed to love it. You love the experience. And we lose track of that. We lose, that's the goal. That's ultimately what we kind of want to have. And we we divert from that. Oh, thank you so much for that, Lisa. And just before, I know I have to let you go, but I don't quite want to yet. Just one more minute with you, please. If there's any message that you can please share with ladies right now who might be in a place, I mean, you've already shared so much. I don't know what else you could share, because you've shared so much great information, where they might be feeling a little bit stuck or challenged in their career as a woman right now, regardless of what the challenge is, but they just feel that place of stuckness, just stuck, that stagnation.
When you're stuck it means you're not in your power and you're trying to look good for other people. You're trying to project something you're not, or you're trying to project yourself in a situation where you're not ready yet. You're never stuck when you have an open mind and you're into transformation, because transformation is where the power is. If you're stuck now, just visualize yourself as a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. What is your idea? How are you unfolding that? And then just visualize it, but then let it go and say, universe, take care of the rest. And that's my biggest tip for today. Let the universe do the work. You just show up, come up with the idea, come up with the seed, but show up. Ask yourself the question of, who's my team for this? Who do I have to talk to? What steps do I have to take? And be quiet, go out in nature, sit, listen to, my sister was in the forest today. I was FaceTiming with her today, and I'm like, oh my God, the forest is teaching you so much. Please just get off the phone and listen to what all the messages were. It's so quiet and so peaceful. So it's like forest bathe, bathe in it. So when you do that in nature, everyone says, oh, you got to stay busy. I got to do this. Here's all the calls I have to make. So many of my clients, okay, look, I said, how are you doing your business? Like, okay, I've got all these calls I have to make this week, and I have to follow up on this, and I have to do this. I have to write these 3 books. I've got to do, it's like, oh my God, throw that away. Just breathe, just be. Because when you're in the moment tells you what the next moment's going to be. And then the next moment, then the next moment. And when you clutter yourself with everything you have to do for the next 2 or 3 years to get to where you are, you're stuck in the future, or you're stuck in the past saying, this has never worked before. And if I fail, I'm going to waste all this money and time I've invested in it. You're still going to fail because you're in the past or you're there in the future. You have to just say, what is my gift for the world? How do I develop that talent? It's not the most talented. It's the person who shows up every day and just keeps showing up. I kept showing up traveling. I kept showing up, going from city to city all over the world, up to 80 countries. Okay. So I kept showing up because I thought, I'm so messed up. I don't know who I am, what I really want to be. And after the acting thing blew over. And so it was for me, just, I need to know who I am and find my voice. Otherwise, nothing else will work. And the way I was brought up was, you don't have a voice and your voice is our voice. So it took me a lot longer than it would take somebody else. So, I mean, so everyone's journey is different. I don't say everyone has to go and do what I did, but everyone has a version of what will unlock them to their true, authentic power. And once you get that and you get your personality to align with your soul purpose, that's the magic. And that's what the imposters are. The imposters are all the, oh my God, I'm stuck. Once you go, oh, imposters, you work for me, you name them and you say, what do you need right now? You're being a baby. What do you need? They need to be coddled. It's your inner child saying, I'm not really good enough. I'm a fraud. Once you start building that relationship with that voice that keeps telling you, God, it's just not working out. I'm exhausted, or I don't have enough money to do it. And what if it fails? And I can't call those people to ask them to be on the summit or whatever it is, because I'm a nobody. And what if it doesn't work out? And then you're going to be stuck. You just have to call and do it. And if it's not great or it doesn't go, or you don't sell it, then you just say, hey guys, I tried. And that's happened to me a million times. And I just go, okay, get on the horse again. It's not about, did it succeed or fail? It's about the journey. So make sure your journey is fun and rewarding, and you're growing from it, and you're going to be proud of yourself at the end of it, not compromising who you are to fit into society's version of what's successful. Successful is loving yourself, loving others, and being in your power, truthfully.
Amen. Amen. I could not have said that better. Like, that was just in a nutshell. Like, it's almost like you took an entire 500-page book about how to be an amazing businesswoman. You just put it all in one page. Lisa, thank you so much for
Thank you, Evette.
Thank you for your humbleness. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your compassion. And thank you for being this beautiful guiding light, showing women that you can be feminine, you can be graceful, you can have fun, you can make it all about the experience and just stepping into your power at the same time, not having to fight for it, but move into it by vibing the correct vibration that you would like to put out there. I love it.
Yeah, and it's powerful when you could really sit into it. Even like this month has been so challenging with losing some really close people. And of course, when death happens, it feels like you go, oh my God, they're dying. But really it's about you going, oh, I'm not going to be able to brainstorm with that person. I'm not going to be able to share, you know, a meal with them or enjoy laughter with them. So it's really about, oh, I'm going to miss.
You're losing.
And right.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way? So when you start feeling that and going, how precious life is, like, you know, I put on like 6-7 pounds this past 6 weeks and people are going, oh, you're putting on some weight. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I am grieving right now. And if someone's going to judge me by putting on weight, then too bad for them. They're not my tribe. Like, I do not care. But yet I'm a health nut. I'm a green juice girl and I'm organic, all this kind of stuff. But I don't care. I don't live by the rules that you have to be this and you have to be that. It's whatever you're feeling, let yourself flow in that. It's like, you know what? I am going to meet my friends that know, and we're going to go out and have a bottle of wine and share stories about it, where I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to count calories and I'm not going to go to the gym every day. It's just not what I'm feeling. And you have to honor that. And then, you know, you want to stay healthy, especially in the time of COVID, but you get back on the horse, but you don't have to be militant. Once you're militant, you're always berating yourself and beating yourself up. And that is a creativity killer. You never want to do that. Because you're constantly picking yourself apart. 1,000 times they say we have 40 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and most are negative and most are repeated. God, I've got to still lose this weight. I can't be on camera. Look at me. Then that makes you gain more weight and more weight, instead of you go, oh my God, I love this. This is who I'm going to be. Whatever happens, happens. I get back on my horse. You know, in January, I'm going to splurge the rest of this year because I want to. So I have friends coming in town and I'm not going to, oh, I've got to, you know, watch my weight. It's like, you know what, this is who I am right now. And it is, you know, so it's about love and acceptance of where you are in the moment. And if someone doesn't like it, that's on them. I do not care. I do not care.
I love that. Lisa, thank you for sharing this authentic experiences that you've had. And I love that. I'm taking so much from this and especially experience. This is, and you know, by experiencing life the way that you have done. And I can only just imagine me seeing, wow, if I had to change my life right now today by just implementing this, I can see how this is going to just pull me into the present moment. Because if you're experiencing something, like whether you touch an object or you just experience, like you're feeling that you're present with that, you're feeling your emotions because you're having an experience, you can't be more present than that. Like, that's pulling you into the here and now. Talk about conscious living.
Yeah, that's what it's about, honey. You nailed it. It's about conscious living. Once you live consciously, it's so hard to live unconsciously. You don't see the world like that anymore. And it's just, yeah, that you just nailed it. That's the whole thing. That's what this whole interview was about. It was about living consciously in the moment. And yes, your life will flow.
With Lisa, I love it.
Yeah.
So ladies, this was, you can find out so much more about Lisa here at the bottom of the video. She's done amazing work in her life. Follow her, join her, learn from her, because it's going to be a soul-blazing experience, that I can absolutely assure you. Lisa, I can't thank you also for your love, your time, and your energy. I know it's late for you, and thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. And you know, just the grace that you have despite what was going on in your life, but showing up for other women here tonight as well with me. I'm beyond grateful and humbled by this interview. Really, I truly am.
I believe in you so much, and I love the work you're doing. I would say yes to you anytime, again, because of the way you vibrate, and you're doing it to help the world. Your book is amazing. Everything you do is just to help the world. You didn't do that to make $1 million. You did it to help women learn about all their different, you know, ailments. And it's just so impressive that you can't say no to you. Magical, amazing woman.
If you did, we would not have learned from you. So thank you so much for your time, Lisa. And
thank you,
ladies. That's a wrap, but Lisa will be back again. So thank you so much, Lisa. And until next time, everyone, be the light that you are.
Bye.